Are we good? Are we live? Are we good? Hi. Hello. Oh. Oh. Is it going? Is it going? Oh. Looks like it. How about tonight? Hello. I cannot see. Hello? Well, we know everything's working. That's the important part. Everything is doing wonderful. Da 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 da. It's like I know I should be doing work, but I keep just like looking over and staring at her. Oh, there's no one else here. I don't need to be like in character or anything. Oh, hello. Hello. Welcome. Should be like actually drawing. Hello. How's it going? How much can how much can I crop this so that it still looks okay? That is the question. Hi, welcome. I'm glad people are here. Yeah, I know it's not working on Ode to Friends or anything like that, which I should do. I have the tab open to work on it, but also it's not. I need to do art that makes me money. I need to get paid somehow. I cannot just live in the dumpster. I mean, I could live in the... I am living in the dumpster. But it's like... The Chinese place behind me has stopped taking... They demanded I started paying for food instead of just coming in and grabbing something, so... Yeah. But I got a job. I got a job so that I can afford to eat Chinese again. But if you would like to see, this is what I have. This is the thumbnail currently for the next page of Ode to Friends. I have it all thumbnailed, I have it all planned out, it's just actually drawing it. That takes some time. But, again, I need to be working for the sweet, sweet monies. Otherwise, yeah, I would just be working on comics all day. I didn't have to do that. Or if I did, I'm already planning out, after Ode to Friends. I've got plans for the next leg of the journey. I'm calling the next installment, it's gonna be called Phoenix. Because it's like rising from the ashes. Something like that, I don't know. I thought it was fun. If you don't want to hear me ramble about that stuff, you can let me know. I do have my eye on the chat. But I don't know. Get a sneak peek into the mind of the creator. And I am just chilling. I've also got to figure out a regular streaming schedule. That's something I'm getting used to. But yeah. That and buttons. I have buttons. I need to figure out the next... Or it's not figure out. I have another set of buttons. If you don't care. Or if you do care, I have an Etsy. It should be on the channel somewhere. I don't know. It's probably there. But I currently have these witchy unicorn, or not unicorn, witchy animals. Oh, excellent. Okay. I'm just rambling on because I really want to work on the comic, but I've got to work on art. But after Ode to Friends, the next comic, it's gonna be significantly longer because it's gonna be, instead of 2 segments like Ode to Friends, it's gonna be 3. Which is a little bit unfortunate for as far as time to release these things. But it is the artistic vision. I must keep the vision alive. Even if it is a pain on my wrist. Yeah, that's something I've learned really early on. But basically, where Ode to Friends focuses on how Dazai and Chuya leave the Port Mafia, Phoenix is focusing on Chuya coming back to Suribachi City and finding a home again, which is why it's called Phoenix as opposed to anything else. I really wanted to do something with like coming home or homecoming initially, but that's for the third. I've already saved that title for the third one, so I can't do that. Because of course the third one would be Dazai coming back and seeing their new home. And then I gotta do the adoption story about the Akutagawas. But I also really want to at some point skip ahead and do the Chuya Kunikita vignette where they learned not to antagonize each other too much. Because like I always put it, Dazai gets on Kunikita's nerves on purpose, like by pulling silly pranks. Chuya does it by accident, but at that point it's more of an ideological grievance, if that makes sense. Like, because obviously Chuya is Port Mafia, and while it's like, no, I'm not. The moral code is generally be good and don't murder. There are exceptions. He he treats his moral code like he treats the law, which is there can be exceptions. So which drives Kunikita, as you can imagine, it drives Kunikita up the wall. So he has to balance being, so they have to reconcile, like, their ideological differences. Is it about being what? Do I recognize? There's like a handful of URLs that I recognize of like, hey, you're frequently one of the people who likes my stuff. I'm glad you're here though, even if I don't recognize the URL. That's on me. That's on me though. I don't have a lot of brain space. There is a single brain cell up in that forehead, and every time it bounces into the corner of my skull, that's where a thought comes through. But yeah, I'm glad that you're here. I, I like talking to people. Or I like rambling about what I'm working on. And sometimes I just, like, there's only so long I can just talk to myself in a vacuum, you know? That, or there's only so long I can talk before my family and friends start to get annoyed and they're like, look, Goblin, I've got things I need to do. So, but I like you. I like I like talking to people about like what I'm working on. But I'm imagining this Chuya Kunikita vignette. If you're aware of the one, specifically, I want to the one episode where it's like Kunikita encounters the bomber, the one who's gonna blow up the subways. I think I'm gonna use that as the framework. Yeah, no, my brain is. I do my best. Like I remember a handful, but that's still like a lot. At least I, at least I haven't blocked you on accident. That's what I'm. That's been the one thing I've been. Although let me know if I have blocked you on accident, because with the bot wave recently, I've been blocking a lot of people, uh, a lot of bots. You know, uh, I don't really like block people unless they are either A, bots, or B, they've been like personally interacting with me in a bad way. Uh, yeah, I just don't care enough. Like if there's someone I don't like on the site, I'm just gonna leave their page or leave whatever posts they have. I don't, but like I am fighting the good fight on the in the trenches. But yeah, I'm I like to think I haven't. I don't think I've blocked anyone that was not a bot, but I don't know for sure. So, uh, but yeah, yeah. There's been so many recently. Uh, just like every morning I wake up, and when I open the dashboard, there's like 3 or 4 bots following my other accounts. Ironically, there haven't been a lot following my like the art blog just because that one's 80s Gay Trash Goblin is actually not my main. Uh, so I guess I've been lucky on that front. But like some of my other side blogs have just been flooded, absolutely flooded with bots. Um, but yeah, did I catch that? Yeah, it's fine. I've just started streaming recently, so there might be some stuff I need to do to uh, like sound levels and stuff to adjust to actually get into streaming. I gotta get a schedule. I'm gonna get. I just have to do a little more research to see like what a good streaming schedule is, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be mostly using YouTube for streaming at this point. Like I might post some speed paints, but I don't know. Um, but yeah, I'm just, I'm just like the like the Dazai Nakahara family has been consuming all of my thoughts lately. So it's been a bit of an experience. Like I've got so many ideas. I don't know if you in particular have seen the one post I made about my little New Year's Eve lore drop about our Habaki and Kondakoro. But yes, I am implying that Dazai is the book. He is the book in this AU. Um, less of any like, oh, for like any theory purposes or like, oh, I think Dazai is the book in canon or anything like that. I'm not one for that sort of theory crafting. However, if the theories make the story more interesting, I'm gonna go with it. And the idea of not Chuya or Dazai the people being soulmates, but like the entities inside them being soulmates and how they like are connected to each other. Like Dazai and Chuya's friendship being pretty solid in like the first week or so that they met each other. Or like month, week? I don't know, timescales aren't clear to me. But and also the symbolism. The symbolism of the god of creation and the god of destruction finding each other and Arahabaki wielding to Dazai's ability because Dazai is the book. I just chef's kiss, man. I just it's I just really want to see. I also I didn't expect like because I knew since I was changing and adding some of my own world building for Surabachi City, I knew Fitzgerald's redemption or Fitzgerald's arc from villain to chillin'. Hey, hi Queenie. Hi, you get to hear me ramble. But look at her move. I'm not. I know it's a VTuber debut. I'm not going to be in character. Look at her move. I I've spent so long on her. She's adorable. I love her. What? Hello. Hello. I got so much work art to do. I mean, I'm not complaining. More money, you know. Yeah, she's. I just half the time I just keep looking up at the at my monitor because I just keep I just want to watch her as she wiggles. So yeah, streaming is clearly not going to be great for my productivity. Uh, I mean, obviously, as I do this more, I'll get used to her, but Again, like I've been saying, I need to get set up a streaming schedule. I gotta do research as to what would be good. Honestly, all of my problems with making her came from her mouth and having to figure out how to make it work. Because I was like, maybe we could do some opacity transitions, and those look awful. Awful. But no, I think I've got it now. I just keep wiggling, and I love seeing the worm wiggle. I should probably tell you the story behind the hat. So my mom made me this top hat when I was like pretty little, and she is. I still have it. I've had it for literally years, and I'm calling it my convention hat. And for every convention I'm going to, that I go to. Okay, bye bye, Queenie. Enjoy your dinner. I forgot there's a 2-hour time difference between us. uh, but yeah, every convention, I'm going to add another worm on a string to the hat, and I will eventually be covered in worms. I don't think I don't think I'm gonna add more worms to the model because eventually you're never gonna see my face. You're just gonna see uh, my face will just be covered by just worms swaying back and forth. So no, that just this one worm. Uh, but I'm I'm just excited to do more streaming. Should probably actually talk about the piece I'm actually working on. Yes, I have so many of these worms. Um, I got like a bunch of them for like Christmas last year, 2021 Christmas, uh, and because I want to get back into crocheting. That's not been working out as well as I'd hope, unfortunately. One day I will get back into it, and one day I will make a scarf so that I can weave worms into them. And I've also found the worms make very good cat toys. Uh, my son, Barley, he loves playing with them. I will just move the worm back and forth and he will chase it. He's a very ferocious hunter. He's very prey driven. Uh, in my old house, or one of the old houses, the one I grew up in, we had a lot of mice. And Barley would always be the one catching the mice and bringing them to us. And he is my good little hunter. And he's also a very loud purr. So his other nickname is my little rumble bus. He's not here with me right now. Sometimes, if I'm working or doing stuff, he will come and lay on my bed with me, and I will come and give him scritches. This devolved into last stream it devolved into just me talking about my cat, and this stream it devolved into me talking about my cat. What can I say? I'm a proud mother. But this art, you know what? While I'm here, I might as well shamelessly promo it. This art I'm working on is for a game that my parents are developing called Covenant Crucible. And it's basically, if you're aware of Dungeons and Dragons, it's a system like that, only the setting is add another bit to the blank. Yeah, I want to do something like that. Only it'll be my blanket. Mine and my son's. Because inevitably, if I make a blanket for him, I'm gonna have to share. Uh, but basically, oh god, now I've lost my train of thought. uh, Covenant Crucible, right, that was it. Uh, but the setting is, uh, it's basically if magic was all real and you're playing as witches. And so I've been doing a lot of art because I'm getting paid to. Uh, and so I've done stuff like, I want to say, I have like 10. That, so you've either had that blanket for a long time, or they've had a lot happen to them. And that can be either good or bad. I'm gonna choose I'm gonna choose to believe that's a good thing. Because I cannot tell otherwise. I don't know if I'd do something like that. Like a blanket. I'd probably stick to something like scarves. Or maybe like a sweater. And then cover it with worms and annoy my mother. Also wanted uh, to look into getting contacts so that I can wear my plague doctor mask to conventions without looking like a buffoon, without having to fit them over my glasses, or without going blind. Um, Especially since we're gonna be masking up again. That's probably, I mean, yeah, I'd have to wear the mask, a mask under the plague doctor mask, but it's worth it. I think being able to wear the plague doctor mask is completely worth any reward. Oh wow, that's a lot of softball games. Good for them. Especially if they're pretty young. Um, I mean, I know I wasn't winning any softball games as a kid, or really anything. What did I do? I was in gymnastics, but I wasn't very good at it. That's about it for my young experiences. I mean, I'm glad I was in gymnastics. I don't like regret it or anything. It's just nothing to write home about. I'm, I'm excited to because there's going to be a convention coming up, and I mean, I'll jump at the opportunity to sell more buttons any day. I need to do what do I need to do? Got to do business cards. Very important. But then I also gotta update the channel banner and do some cleanup with that if I'm gonna be streaming regularly. I'm very, very, what was I gonna say? It's all old artwork. And like, I don't mind the old videos and stuff being up, even if personally I don't like them at all. I mean, that's on me though. I I left. I mean, that's one of those things as like an artist. You just you just don't like your old art. But I don't like people seeing it. But I don't want the channel banner to be old, you know? You know? And also, I'd like to. I'd like it if people could see my Etsy. That would be nice. Like, hey, see the stuff I'm working on instead of just like a mass of eye strain. maybe, maybe to really hone in on the streamer vibe, I'll work on the new channel banner on stream. I think that would be fun. Uh, but yeah, no, it's old, man. And I mean, that could be a whole nother stream, redrawing old art. It's so bad. Especially old art that's been shared, like, on the channel. It's like, hey, if you really wanted to, you can go back and find it. Like, yeah, oh, that's really cool. I wish I did. I really wanted to do theater, but like the theater people at my high school were all they were all awful and toxic, and so I was warned away. I never really did that. Uh, and besides, theater would just be something I would do for like fun. I mean, as far as passions go, it would either be dance, or the big main thing is like comics and animation. Uh, so what I've been doing for the like little stretches of comics for the Dazai Nakahara family, that's been perfect for me. And part of me is kind of tempted because making making a little VTuber has been really fun. Part of me is tempted to do, probably not. I mean, Chuya would be fun to animate, but I think part of me is really tempted to do one for Gin, to have her like streaming, because I gave her artist gloves in her like secretary outfit, and I gave Gin a longer skirt. Like, I know Gin she might be comfortable in like a short. I feel like it's easier to hide knives in a longer skirt. Yeah, that's the answer we're going with. But I feel like out of the Dazai Nakahara family, if any of them were to like stream onto YouTube, it would be Akutagawa again. Uh, I mean, anyone who knows enough of a reference to be like, he's like Dazai, evil Dazai. I feel like Ryu would be too nervous. I could actually, I could see Dazai being a sexy VTuber. Uh, uh, like commissioning art for a gender bent version of himself to rig. Uh, but I also don't think I would do. I might, honestly, but I don't think I have enough of a repertoire of dirty jokes to pull off Dad's IV VTuber. I mean, I've got a collection, but I don't have enough to fuel. I mean, I would I could see Dazai doing a suicide-themed karaoke stream. God, now I have ideas. Uh, but anyway, got so off track. What was I saying? What was my train of thought before I went to VTuber Dazai? Uh, oh yeah, it was the comics, right? Uh, I think what I might do in the future is I might turn like little Ode to Friends comics and stuff like that into like a PDF that you can like buy on Etsy. And it wouldn't just be the PDF. I'd probably throw in like some additional like color spreads or something like that for those who want to buy it. We just did the Who Broke It. Who Broke It is pretty classic. I mean, I've I've been pulling my little like warm ups and incorrect source stuff from Leverage, but that's because I rewatched it recently, and that show is near and dear to my heart. And like I could see the ADA being a Leverage style operation. Uh, ta- do you wanna hear about my Chuya love triangle plot? uh, so basically, it and I'm not for a love triangle. I'm going purely for the comedy. You see, so like Chuya and Dazai are always going to be together, literal soulmates. I've described that already by now, but Tachihara has a thing for gingers who want to kill him. So the first time because he's one of the Black Lizard commanders, so I think the first time they would meet would be on the boat where that, or maybe they met before that. But basically, Chuya kicks Tachihara's ass, and Tachihara falls in love, uh, which is which means he starts sending flowers to the office addressed to addressed to Chuya. And every time Chuya like searches it for bombs, looks through and is like, "Hey, maybe there's a bomb in it this time," or it's like a port. Because I feel like that's also pretty common. Like there are some flowers sent to the ADA, and they check it, and it's like there's a bomb inside. But then, but Tachihara just keeps sending Chuya flowers and being like, "Hey, leave your boyfriend and date me. I don't even care that you're in the ADA." And then, this only ends once, during, like, one of the, I want to say either the guild or the cannibalism arc, where, Tanizaki, sneaks into the Port Mafia headquarters, and then, shock of all shocks, he also kicks Tachihara's ass, and we have established that Tachihara has a type. So Tachihara is now sending flowers to the ADA addressed to Tanizaki. Shuya is just glad to be free at this point. Which is a mood, honestly. Like, because I feel like every time flowers would be sent to the office, like, Dazai would get like really jealous. Like, I feel like Dazai is the kind of person who would just he would chuck any flowers that Chuya got out of the office windows to Kunakita's repeated headache, of course. But he's just, he's so tired of their romance novel life. I mean, Dazai and Chuya, they are insufferable with the PDA, of course. Like, they got pretty used to it. And for them, it's pretty normal. I mean, Kunakita, it's insufferable because it's always distracting him. Yosano finds it insufferable because she's single and she doesn't like that they're rubbing it in. Rampo doesn't care. He just thinks it's funny because it's annoying everyone else. And of course, it annoys the Akutagawas because it's like when you see your parents kissing, you know? And then Haruno, actually, I picture Haruno as being the ADA's HR department. It's just her. She is the sole member of HR, which is why she is constantly tired. And she especially really doesn't like Dazai and Chuya. Not just the PDA, but because they haven't signed the proper paperwork to be an HR approved couple. They never have. They've been working there for 2 years, and at this point they just refuse to. It's like a thing of pride. Alright, let's get the background before I go back to, I have to add thorns. Let me see if I can remember what thorns look like off the top of my head before I inevitably look up a reference. Yeah, my favorite headcanon. Because it's either Haruno or the other one is the reason Naomi is insane is because she is the sole member of the ADA's HR department. And knowing everyone else, they are also insane, so... Like, I don't know why people are like, yeah, Haruno, she's going through it. I mean, whoever has to be the ADA's HR department, I just feel sorry for them. But, like, people always headcanon, oh, Kunakita is the one who's got it all together. No, Kunakita is absolutely neurotic. You've got, of course, Fukazawa. I think Fukazawa's gotta be the most well-adjusted one, right? Right? Because Yosano is clearly hiding some issues. Rampo is Rampo. Oh, did I draw that on the wrong? Oops. Layer issues. Okay, we're good. A little worried for a moment there. But, like, Naomi, the Tanizakis, they're insane. They're just hiding it. But, like, Junichiro is willing to murder. And Naomi is also down to murder. What was I saying? Rampo has issues. Rampo is a little more well-adjusted, but also, that man does not know how to do anything. he knows how to do some things, but like he could solve a murder in 10 seconds flat. You ask him to boil a pot of water, and he will have set it on fire. Have trauma. Yeah, okay, I would argue that Kunikita, as a TA, also has trauma. I mean, I don't buy Kunikita being a math teacher. Like, you need to get a degree for it, like, and I don't know if it's different in Japan, but at least in the United States, you need to at least have I believe, a master's before you can start teaching. But teacher's assistant, I can absolutely see Kunikita being a teacher's assistant. And I would argue that being a teacher's assistant for high school students is traumatizing enough. Which honestly would explain why he's so neurotic. like we all know Kunikita has some sort of untreated mental illness, right? Like, his inability to cope with Dazai throwing him off schedule, that is like, I think it was only a part-time. Yeah, well, again, teaching is like a full-time job, so either he was a sub or he was a teacher's assistant. He was not a full-on math teacher. Like, I can see him being like the one math teacher, or the one math substitute that everyone hated because he was strict. But yeah, Kunikita's undiagnosed mental illness aside, I mean, obviously everyone else is also insane. We just don't. I mean, we know what a lot of their trauma is. I want to know more about the Tanizakis. Like, I mean, they were college students, sure, but like, I headcanon, or like, I think Junichiro's bachelor was in like mortuary science or like forensic science or something. Like, could have been a tutor. I could see math tutor, yeah. Yeah, I could see math tutor. I could also see, especially math. Math is hard to teach, especially to high schoolers who are already failing. Especially with just how, like, Kunikita is. But yes, Junichiro is a mortuary science major. I take no criticism. Because, like, I feel like he's one of those people who, if he's, and I don't think he's still in college. Because I don't think any professor would accept, like, hey, I had to fly a helicopter to save the city from being exploded as an excuse to miss homework. Either that, or they're like, Junichiro, could you, like, tell us, you could be honest and just say you were, like, sick, you know? You don't have to make up elaborate stuff. And Junichiro's like, that's the truth, I promise. But if he was doing, like, I mean, I could see him doing, like, courses on the side. It's just like, screw math. Just give me a dead body and I'll go from there. Just out loud at some point. Like, yeah, if I had to drive a helicopter to save the city and my friends were a normal excuse, that would be hilarious. Or something like Junichiro being like, hey, my job took up a little more time than I thought it would. His professor's just like, look, I mean, you can just, shouldn't you be able to take like a break? I'm sure your job would understand it. And Junichiro's just like, dude, I got the actual like reason, which he couldn't really say, was he had to stay at Yosano's because he got like shot or got like hurt by an ability user, and it's just like, that's not how that works, buddy. Thanks. Although, like, let's be real. I feel like even for college professors, like being shot is not an excuse. Or something. Or it wouldn't be an excuse for Tanizaki. Like, Yusano would come in and Tanazaki's just on the infirmary cot, with one hand over his stomach and the other typing his essay out. It would be extremely funny. Meanwhile, Chewie is sitting there just like, he's never stepped foot in a school in his life. But I feel like Chuya, after he joined the Port Mafia, would be one of those people who's just like, I need to know everything. I need to know all of the things. So he goes to like the library and just reads a bunch of textbooks in his spare time. Or goes down like Wikipedia rabbit holes or something like that. I feel like that's something he could do. Sano being an elementary school Sano would be terrifying as an elementary school nurse. Oh my god. Like, I mean, I feel like she'd be understanding with kids, but at the same time, like, I mean, I don't imagine like a kid being hurt badly. Like, a kid being hurt badly enough to where she needed to use her ability, they normally send those kids to the hospital. But I'm just imagining, like, Mom, I broke my leg on the playground. And, Nurse Yosano stabbed me, and then it was all better again. I feel like those parents would be... She'd be reported to something. I mean, I don't know what institution handles, like, elementary school nurses, but, like, she'd be reported in an instant. But some fun, Dazai Nakahara family lore for you is because Chuya took the time to self-teach himself just like a bunch of random subjects, and even some of the necessary core subjects like algebra and taxes, or like reading comprehension, how to research stuff, and how to do taxes. I feel like those are the only 3 necessary skills in school. Like, everything else is just fluff, right? But since he learned a lot of that stuff, while Chuya is working at Cafe Uzumaki on his shifts, I mean, they can't just leave Ryu and Gin just, like, at home alone. And all of their friends are terrible babysitters. So, either are terrible babysitters or have jobs of their own. So, it's a pretty common sight at Cafe Uzumaki to see, like, if there's a low influx of customers, Chuya will just go over to the Yakutagawas and he's basically homeschooling them, which is really difficult for a teenager who is also working and only absorbed those subjects himself with the help of a bunch of textbooks and online videos, and pretty please asking Koyo to help. Another note in this AU, I think, which you'll see a bit of, you'll see like a glimpse into Koyo and Shuya's relationship in Homecoming. But Koyo and Shuya are still on good terms. Like, it's not like they're getting together and like drinking tea every single day. But like, if they see each other, like, they're not gonna attack each other. They can like chat. Have like a friendly get together. Something like that, you know? Like, Koyo is still a Nissan, and I feel like when the guild, when Koyo was first introduced in the anime and the manga, instead of attacking Kyoka just like right off the bat, I feel like what in the Naza, wait, in the Dazai Nakahara AU, Koyo would instead be happy that Koyo's in the light. And actually, I feel like she would have told Koyo, or she would have told Kyoka while in the Mafia, like, look, if you ever need to leave, if there's ever a time you need to leave the Port Mafia for any reason, you go talk to Nakahara Chuya. He'll keep you safe. I feel like they would still have a good relationship. You know? Like, you can't really break those bonds. Family's still family, even if you're in opposing organizations. I say family's still family, but Dazai, I don't know if Dazai would be willing to kill Mori. Dazai might be willing to blackmail Mori into stepping down as boss. Chuya will kill Mori. Chuya will kill Mori, which is why he's not allowed at any peace treaty meeting, because he would need to be held back by everyone in order to not murder. So, he's not allowed. And every time there's like any sort of peace treaty meeting where Mori is there and Chuya is not allowed to go, he will sulk. Which I mean is fair. We'll get really sad about it. Okay. I think we'll add a thorn here. Because I'm supposed to be adding thorn. What do we think? Does this look good? I think we need to add more thorns. It's too like even. We need to add some chaos of unevenness. And I'm gonna drink some water. This is your friendly reminder to hydrate. Make sure you hydrate. Like I am doing. Hydration is very important. Water is just delicious. I don't know why people are like, oh, you need to change the taste of water or water is boring. Water is delicious. Come on, guys. Especially, like, you get an ice cold glass of, ooh, it's so good. But I mean, I also just like to crunch ice cubes, so I don't know how much. Take my word with a bit of a grain of salt. I am biased. God, I'm getting lazy with the thorns. You can see I put some. There's like some effort into the thorns in like the middle of the image, and no, they look relatively okay, and then you get to the top and they're just blobs. something, something hubris, something. But yeah. Also in the ADHD, I'm waiting more on like, I mean, I'd have to research more about the girl's Wikipedia page, but if it came down to that she needed a new home, I think Chuya and Kunakita would fight over who got to adopt her. Like, not metaphor, not like argument fight. I mean, both of them would throw hands. Because again, as mentioned previously, I don't want to start from the bottom. I'll start from the bottom. Because as mentioned, or I don't remember what I mentioned previously. They are law. They are troubled children magnets. The two of them, Daza and Chuya. Who knew? Sokoku would be the ideal parent. I mean, they're not ideal, not at all. But I can say from personal experience, if you have a mental illness or trauma, it is infinitely easier if you have a parent who has experienced something similar and can get it. You know? It's just one of those things. Like, it's also harder if it's two people who have different mental illnesses, because sometimes those can clash, and that's just not a good combination. Okay, like on one hand, I know no one's going to be paying super close attention to these thorns and branches, and I could half ask them. But on the other hand, I put a lot of effort into this art, and so it is. I have pride, damn it. I'm gonna put effort into them. Even if these berries end up looking a little blob-like, it's fine. Just the tiniest bit like blobs. very excited to get to the rest of Ode to Friends, which it would only happen once my work is done. But I am really proud of the art I've done. Like my work art. Like, at some point I'll be doing prints. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, at some point I'll do prints, but for Covenant Crucible we'll be doing prints for the Kickstarter. So that'll be kind of my test run of these prints. These as prints. And if they work, I'll like add them to the shop. Like I want to add more buttons and stuff to the shop, but I always do like test runs and test prints. And that can take a while, especially if it's like, oh, there's not enough, this one doesn't have enough black, you're gonna need a stronger printer, or you're a better printer. Like sometimes it just comes down to printer differences that you can't control. Unfortunate, but like what can you do? Father, son, they do. Like in the Dazai Nakahara family, Kenji Kenji will absolutely be another one of the ducklings. Like, I feel like Chuya would absolutely mother hen him. And I also feel like Chuya's love language is food. So the office kitchen will constantly have like bentos Kenji's made for if members of the office like need to eat. And there are some that are high protein that are specifically for Kenji. And all of them are healthy. Especially the ones that are like labeled for Rampo, you need to have some that are like you need to have something healthy. I was like sometimes the newer members just won't have money to go down to the cafe. But like you still need to eat. And so grab a bento. And that's what Chuya makes them for. And I feel and Chuya is also that way because like he'd definitely be food insecure from like his time as an orphan and from the sheep. So it's like that's one of his focuses is and part of his mother henning is like making sure everyone is fed. Which is valid, honestly. And then Dazai's love language is, of course, physical touch. He will cuddle his children. His children and their cats. Or one cat, one dog. They have a cat and a dog. They have a tuxedo cat named Mickey, who's named Mickey because he was found in a McDonald's container. And they have a golden retriever named Lemon, who's named that because he was found in a lemon crate. And like you would think, especially with like Lemon, you would think it would be Chuya bringing them home. But no, it's absolutely Dazai. Dazai's the one bringing the animals home. And I feel like he'd also be the one bringing the children home. And Dazai always complaining that, like, because Mickey is a fat, happy cat, and Lemon's a very, very happy girl. And Dazai's constantly complaining that, like, both of them are so spoiled. Trying to convince. Because he wants out. Yes! Like, Dazai doesn't even need to convince Chuya to adopt Atsushi. Like, I feel like the moment Atsushi, like, stepped into the office, Chuya probably pulled out the papers. Like, Chuya absolutely... Actually, I feel like Dazai would be the one to, like, not try and convince Chuya not to officially adopt Atsushi. And his main reason is because he is a Shinsokoku shipper, and is like, it would be really awkward legally if Ryu was trying to marry Atsushi and they were brothers. So Atsushi gets to have the coveted son-in-law status. Meanwhile, for Akutagawa, it's like he wakes up in a cold sweat in his dorm after like a week of knowing Atsushi, and is like, Gin, I think I'm gay. And like Gin wakes up, because she's being shaken awake, she turns over and it's just like, this is a surprise? I already knew that. I'm going back to bed. You woke me up for this? But Kyoka is absolutely being adopted. Like, no hesitation. And when they rescue Q, like, I feel like despite, like, whatever reservations the agency might have, Chuya and Dazai are like, nope, this one's mine. The Port Mafia can suck it. And then it's like, would also be hilarious because it's like Gin's making fun of her brother's love problems. Meanwhile, she is also in the middle of a love triangle. It's not her that's in the love triangle. It's her alter ego who's in a love triangle. Basically, since Gin it doesn't have an ability, she is technically a secretary at the ADA. However, because she goes out as the vigilante, the masked knife, which is one of the reasons for Kunikita's many aneurysms, especially because her parents encourage it. Like, Kunikita, it's like, you guys are terrible parents. Why would you let your daughter fight crime when she has no ability? And Chuya's just like, you doubt my ability to teach knife throwing skills? Uh, and it's like, yeah, come on, Kunakita. Knife throwing skills. Like, obviously. Um, Although I feel like in this AU, what would happen is Gin would actually be taught more by Dazai, and Ryu would be taught more by Chuya. Uh, yes, yes, absolutely, that is what's happening. Uh, me, Meanwhile, Chuya is just fed up with Dazai, and it's like, yes, honey, your ship is very nice. Now, can you please come to bed? Uh, but, what was I saying? Oh yeah, math knife stuff. So yeah, Gin goes out to help solve cases by becoming the vigilante masked knife, who everything up to their voice and their gender is unknown, because Gin's gonna dress like androgynous, mainly just because it's better for crime fighting purposes, and also not gonna reveal her voice so that she doesn't bust her cover. So she is so the masked knife is being now crushed on by both Higuchi and Lucy. Uh, and just just imagine, instead of Akutagawa senpai, it's mask knife senpai. and I'm just, meanwhile Gin is suffering because it's like technically they're both crushing on her, but it's not her, it's the mask knife that they don't know is her. And Ryu is laughing at her. It's like, you made fun of my love problems, and look at your mess. I mean, not like it's any easier for Ryu either. Like, he went to Chuya and is just like, Pops, that's the man I'm gonna marry. While Atsushi just like runs straight into a glass door. and and it's like Chuya's just like, I I respect. I'm not arguing you necessarily with your choice, but like, couldn't you have picked one that was a little smarter? um, because like at this point I had canon like the not necessarily the ship, but like the crime fighting aspect uh, of Shin Sokoku, as it's not just Atsushi and Akutagawa, but it's Atsushi, Ryunosuke, and Gin, because Gin provides the brain cells that the other two do not have. Like, they're not necessarily stupid, but one of the things that made the original Sokoku work was that Chuya and Dazai were smart independently of each other, and together they could also be smarter. Like, Chuya's pretty. Chuya usually will relent to Dazai's plan, but Chuya is also pretty smart on his own, and if he thinks like Dazai's plan is lacking, he's not afraid to say so, or even to be like, "Hey, that plan's stupid. Let's go for something simpler." Um, Ryu and Atsushi do not have that. Uh, they are both kind of stupid. they don't they don't have that sort of intelligence. Where I feel like if Gin was primarily taught by Dazai, she absolutely would. And I'm also just picturing I'm just picturing Gin doing the like handcuff snapping trick that Dazai does. I just think that's fun. Might animate that at some point actually. I want to get back into animation, but at the same time it's like I'm already doing so much other stuff. I can't be tempted. Like, let's focus on getting the comics done and my many fan fictions that I'm piloting done before I work on more things that need work, you know? At least this is relaxing to do. Oh yeah, it's definitely getting darker. Hang on. Get some more light in here so that I'm not like drunkenly winking. Also, my other Sokoku headcanon, or the Dazai Nagahara verse, is that Dazai doesn't just like ask random woman for double suicides or anything like that, but instead, uh, he's like being threatened with imminent death. He'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but already promised a double suicide with the one I love, with my lover." Just and because they are both they are both emotionally constipated, so that's Dazai's way of basically saying he'll live for Chuya. I think it's sweet. And the equivalent of that is Chuya going, "I'm the only one allowed to kill you." I mean, it's stuff like that, which is why everyone at the office thinks they're crazy, which, to be fair, they are. I would be lying if I said they weren't. However, it is a language. I also think that they can do a lot of that, like, non-verbal communication, like just like shrug, like nudging their shoulder, doing like a shoulder nudge, or like a nod, or doing that thing where you like tilt your head and talk with your eyes. I feel like they can do that, and so they during like meetings, there's just like a silent pause where they're talking to each other, and they're just like staring at each other, making motions, and everyone else in the meeting is just like, "What are you guys talking? What does this mean? Are you even saying anything? How does that work?" Cats. Oh yeah, yeah. Chuya had to put a cap on how many cats Dazai was allowed to bring home, because, or how many animals Dazai was allowed to bring home. Also, they made an executive rule early on that Fukuzawa was not allowed to visit Chuya and Dazai's house because they were worried he might try and steal Mickey. Uh, and Lord knows the man already has a bunch of cats. He doesn't need to go stealing his employees' cats. And Fukuzawa is still upset that he's not allowed over. Even if it's for completely valid reasons. And like only in in the ADA would you have to worry about your boss stealing your cats. Yeah, which is why Fukuzawa's not allowed over. I mean, it helps that they don't they don't live in the dorms. They live in Suribachi City. Like, I mentioned the Akutagawas, I mentioned Gin and Ryu. They moved to the dorms um, because they had to move out of the house at some point. But uh, basically, and this will be expanded upon more in Phoenix, but Chuya, with the help of his friends, just like pushed together four ish storage containers, uh, and just like built himself his home with a bunch of sheet metal, his ability, and a knife. And he's like, that's his home. He's not abandoning that for a shitty dorm apartment that's smaller. Uh, and so Gin and Ryu moved out uh, because they really wanted to have date nights again. So Koku did. And Ryu walked in on his parents once and was traumatized and does not want to repeat that. So he was like, yeah, I'll move out. But their rooms are like untouched, so they will regularly come back over for like sleepovers or family weekends or something like that. Um, Also, I don't know if you've seen this post, but it might, because I think it's buried earlier in the timeline, I guess. But Dazai, because he can't really cook, and Chuya insisted that he learn to do something helpful around the house, and also get a hobby. Dazai learned to do to hand knit, and so he makes stuff like he makes an Umbreon, made an Umbreon, two Umbreon plushies for Ryu and Gin, and of course Gin's is Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway, and Ryu's is Draco Malfoy. They're very like, and Dazai will continue to make stuff like he'll make stuff like scarves for the kids, or like, I mean, stuffed animals is pretty common. He made himself a little slug with a hat, so that if Chuya's ever off on like extended cases, he will have a Chuya replacement in bed. Yes, Dazai and Chuya's bed. They are covered in stuffed animals that Dazai has made. And Chuya does not have the will to say no to them, even if sometimes he is almost pushed out of his own bed. That is the price he is willing to make for his husband. Which, like, I mean, good for them being willing to make that kind of, I say, as if I don't have a closet piled with stuffed animals that sometimes I will just like retreat into like a little goblin. I mean, I literally am a goblin, so it's in the name. So yes, Dazai does indeed get a lot of my more gremlin habits. Because why not? Because I feel like it would be in character for Dazai. I mean, in my head, Dazai is a giant cat. Like, that's why Dazai was hired, right? Because Fukuzawa just looked at Dazai and was like, that's a cat. And Fukuzawa was right. Dazai is a cat. That you have all six. Man, mine don't even have representations or anything. They're just, I just look at a little guy and I'm like, that's a little guy, and want him. I mean, I say like I grab them as if I have not amassed a collection over many Christmases and birthdays. Because I'm like, you give me all of the soft, fluffy things for me to put in my room so that I can lay on them and cuddle them. Because sometimes my son is a brat and will not come and cuddle with me. He's very good. He'll tolerate it for a while, but then he will wiggle away from me as if he will not come back in 3 hours when I am trying to sleep and lay directly on my stomach. And step right on top of my bladder with those little paws of his. Like, I love you, cat, but I am trying to sleep. I will not. I know you want pets. Like, I feel like they have that like, Dazai in particular has that problem a lot, where it's like he's trying to go to bed, and then Mickey the cat, those plushies for, yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, I don't really have I don't assign representations to any of the plushies, but like, Chewie is just a little guy. Like, I I don't know if you can tell that Chuya is my favorite BSD character, but he absolutely is. Him and Gin are actually my favorites. Um, and I mean mainly it's because one of the things is like in my head, in my brain, I am aware that Chuya is a guy. However, when when I look at him, my heart says butch lesbian, which is, and I am like, no, he is a guy. And my brain is like, butch lesbian, and it's like, come on. No. You cannot do this to me. I really like drawing Chuya. He's very fun. Like with a lot of these, I've gotten to the point with Chuya, Dazai, Ryu, and Gin that I don't have to look at references or anything like that when I draw them. I just know from memory. Oh, I'm very fond of them. I mean, I'd say I'm very fond of them, as if you can't tell from my page. That, and also, I am a big fan of Eldritch Demon Corruption. Like, give us more Elder, Eldritch horror. Come on. Like, I mean, you were willing to give us Lovecraft, looking all freaky. I don't know. I just think Chuya should be able to do the thing where he like turns his head and his head all the way 360 degrees like an owl. You got a you have a giant tiger plushie. Oh my god, I want one. I only have like one tiger in my collection. And he's very old and has wings, so I don't know if he counts. Um, I mean, I just want more plushies. I like soft things, you know? All of the soft things have to be in my bed and in my lap. I mean, I did get one of the things I have is I have a giant rainbow worm with giant googly eyes. Who is he is almost as tall as I am, which I'm not that tall, but he's very long boy and he is excellent for cuddles. I cuddle him all the time. Oh, I would love to do that. Like, it would be hell on my back, but sometimes I'm just tempted to go and take, like, naps in my little nest hole. Like, it would be so bad for me, but I want to. But it is my little goblin cove. Like, my ideal bedroom would just it would be very small and it would just be the bed. Like, nothing else would be in there. Just the it is just bed covering in the entire room. And it would just be piled high with pillows and plushies and soft things. I would love that. Ideal bedroom. And I mean, to be fair, my ideal house is a little like Hobbit hole style goblin cave just tunneled into the side of a mountain. Like I mean that's one way to get around HOA organizations is if you don't have a house but a little burrow. I mean, that's not why I want one, but that is one of the benefits, so. I have embraced my inner goblin and my love for soft things and tunneling and being comfy. Like, I know what I'm about. Like, curl up with some nice ice cream or a smoothie while drawing or playing video games. Although I can't do work. I'm like all comfy like that because then I would fall asleep. Because I would be so cozy. Like, ideal goblin tunnel home would also have a office for me to work. And stream from. And like a little cat tower in it for my son to lounge in while I am streaming. And maybe if I stream and I have that, I'll have like a little cat cam in the corner. Also, a lot of like the one of the other reasons that I've gotten like that my brain has gone in the focusing more on the lore of like you don't need to buy plushies. Plushies are very necessary for life. Everyone needs a collection of soft things to snuggle, and I maintain that that is one of like soft cozy things and bread are two of the natural human needs. Don't let your grandma tell you otherwise. There is never an age where you are too old. The only limit that you should allow yourself, the only limit you should have is how many plushies can fit on your bed or in your little nook that you are keeping them in. Because at some point you will need to sleep on that bed. But other than that, all the plushies, my friend. Live your best life. I'm lucky at least that I'm on somewhat good terms with my grandma. I mean, I don't really talk to a lot of extended family, mainly because I don't like any of them. But there are a few people I keep in touch with. They get to be the exceptions to the no extended family rule. I'll tell you, Thanksgivings and holidays are a whole lot better when you only invite the people you like. Thought I heard a cat. But yeah, that is my sage advice. Don't let anyone tell you can't have plushies. Ah, excellent. Yes. Fill your room. Fill your room with plushies. Alas, I do not. I'm not actually. My limit is not space, my limit is my wallet. Like, if I had the opportunity to get more, I would get more. But I am also saving up money to to satisfy my sushi craze, my sushi cravings. Uh, Once more money starts flowing in. I mean, it doesn't help that I only have like one listing on the Etsy shop. So, again, I will need to expand that. Like, I've been looking into stickers. Like, if people are interested in, like, I can do Dazai Nagahara specific stickers and buttons. But also for a lot of those, I would want to do like an interest check first. Because, like, I don't want to sell. I don't want to do stuff that, like, no one would buy, you know? Well, I mean, at this point, I might even just, like, open a Patreon at this point. Although I just don't know what I would put on my Patreon, because I put most of my art out already. It's like, I don't know what I would do for Patreon, you know? I don't know, that's just one of those things I'd have to think about. I mean, I would say something like, ooh, that's where I post, like, the naughty stuff. I cannot post onto Tumblr or anywhere else. But I don't draw it, so. Oh, wow. I, I, I want more, like, giant plushies. I don't have a lot, though. Um, But those all sound really cool. Yeah, Theodore is very much rat bastard. Like, I think the biggest plot point I need to figure out right now is how did the decay of angels, like, how did they find out that Dazai is the book? But honestly, that's like a much later arc. So, like, I know how a lot of other stuff goes. Because that's always the problem I have. I have ideas for stuff that would only make sense, like, way later down the line and want to draw that stuff, but it's like, no, you need to draw the stuff that's. You need to draw other stuff that's important for context first. And I'm always like, no, I want to get to the scenes now. And it's like, no, that's not how plot progression works. It is. It is both a blessing and a curse. I mean, I don't know. Again, it's kind of hard because it's like the stuff I'm thinking about is only relevant to, like, the future. Plus, I'm gonna be honest, I still need to read Stormbringer. uh, Mainly, I've been putting off Stormbringer because I have, like, 5 other books that I checked out from the library that I need to finish first. So, yeah, after this piece is done, I'll work on Ode to Friends. It's just that I'm glad. I've heard a lot of really good stuff about it. It's just I haven't gotten around to it yet. It's like I know I should because I have ideas of, like, condensing the Dragon's Head conflict and the events of Stormbringer into, like, one overarching thing, but I need to read the Stormbringer in order to do that. Okay. You know what? I'm pretty happy with this, actually. Like a little bit more around this here. You know what? I think I'm gonna call it done. Yeah, I'll call it done there. Good enough for me. So let's call this. Witch Bay Tree. And then this will be the version with the background. Ah, we have completed things. Always feels good to put a thing off on the checklist. Now let's go and do what we actually need to do. Boop boop boop. Here we go. Work on some stuff that's like actually relevant. I'll say this background was a pain though. I was looking at so many screenshots. Shout out. There's this one website I found. It's very old and I don't think it's been updated in a while. But bungostrayshots.weebly.com has been very helpful for my purposes in finding background shots. Very nice. Okay. Oh, I'm using a different color. I'd like to be able to see what I am drawing. Thank you very much. Oh boy, how did this look again? That's another curse of like, do I remember it well enough to do just off of the very bad thumbnail sketch I did? Or should I actually pull up my references in the other window? Decisions, decisions. That's Barstool. Actually, do I still have the uncolored version? The one teaser. I think. There it is. Huh. Congratulations to me for saving that in advance. That is very helpful. Okay. Let's pull up that background shot. Yes. Yes, Goblin, you do need your references. We're gonna call that my little song for pulling up references. Like, bless this website, honestly, for taking, like, every frame. Like, I swear, it's every frame of, like, every episode, and it is very good. Like, they've only got seasons 1 and 2, but that works for my purposes. Alright, how could I forget the steering wheel in the back here? That for some reason I always remembered as a dartboard. let's also play a fun game of how much of my sketching is going to become irrelevant when I put the darks in. Okay, I think that's good. Good enough for my purposes here today. The Dark Era, the, the Dark Era light novel is so funny to me. Specifically the cover. Because Chuya's on the cover of the light novel, despite not showing up. Like, he really was just like, yes, I will show up for my photo shoot, and then leave. Good for him, honestly. I don't think would have been good for him. Well, that's too. Bye bye. I know you're out. Hi. Nope, he's gone. Okay. I heard about my cat. Yeah, he's gonzo's. Unfortunate. Could have had a cat. I mean, I say stuff about like, yeah, we'll have a cat cam. But that would require me to get a second webcam. No, not doing that. Not gonna do that. Yeah. I am. Like, I mean, I love myself a good Cheerio as much as anyone else, but like, he doesn't do. He's not even there. He's not even in the novel. It is hilarious to me. Okay, let's see. Got glass of whiskey for a character, and he's gonna who is super important to the plot, even though he dies. Oh, hello, hi, baby. Hi, come here. Come here, baby. Hi. Hello. Mother is going to pick you up. Hello, baby. Hi. Hi, baby. Hi. Hello. Hey. Mwah. Hi, baby. Hi. I will say the disadvantage of doing this as opposed to having a camera is that you can't see my baby. Hi, baby. Hello. Didn't see you all day. Your mama misses you terribly. Oh, okay. There you go. I'll sit you down, Kit Kat. I mean, the real reason he's here is because he's bothering me so that I can give him a Go-Gurt. I'm not gonna give him a Go-Gurt. Because we don't have any. Or we might. I haven't checked. I don't think we do. You're just gonna have to deal, cat. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal. Yeah, as soon as the cat walks into the room, I stop doing work. Hi. he goes. So he's like, Mother does not love, will not give me yogurt. Mother doesn't love me anymore. And it's like, no, cat. You know the rules. You know when you get your food. Okay, I think that... Oh, hi! Oh, you're back. Hello. Hi. Oh, you have so many cats. Oh, that's amazing. I'd love more cats. We used to have, when we were rooming with other people, we had 3, but then they moved out, took their cat, and then we had 2. And Jake, unfortunately, passed away. Oh, it's just me and my baby. Come here. Come here. No, he's not coming. Come on. Hi. Come here. He is a bit of a brat. I love him though. My baby. But I cannot deny. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Was that a big yawn? Yeah, it was a big yawn. I'll give you more pets. If I give you pets, will you come here? Will you say hi? Will you say hi? Hmm? Oh, was that another big yawn? Oh, I love you, baby. But you're also not getting treats out of me early. You know this. He will always be begging for treats early. It's like, no, cat. You know the rule. No treats. No early treats for the boy. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Do you want to go under the bed? You can go under the bed. Well, you're so skittish. He is a little skittish, but he is my boy. Look, if you want, we can play with the worm later, alright? You're gonna have worm time. I know, you're very excited for worm time. Mm. Whoa! Hi! Oh, you come up and poke me with your little paws. Hi. Yeah, I say stuff like, yeah, I'll have a cat tree in my future office so that I can... Oh! Hi, is that another poke? So that I can have my cat spend time with me while I work, but oh, hi. Hello. Do you want a lap cat? Mm-hmm. You want a lap cat? But he will constantly demand attention. And I will never get any work done. Come here. Come here. Oh, I know you're purring. Hi. You wanna... Oh, you hear that purr? A little Rambo bus. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Hi. Hi. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily get that, but when Barley wants like attention or something, he will just gently poke at you with your paw wherever he can reach. No? There he goes. There he goes. Yeah, the habit that Barley has that gets annoying really often is, again, when you're trying to go to bed and you're laying down in bed, he comes up and he he while in preparation to lay on your stomach steps right on your bladder with his very heavy cat paws. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You little brat. The burdens of parenthood. Ooh. Yeah, the other one I get is it, if I have a door closed for more than a second, Barley will sit outside the door and meow because the door is closed and he cannot see you. Any door, it can be really any door. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't have an electric blanket and it's really cold right now. So so when I'm in bed, I have a heating pad with me. And so that's where Barley likes to lay on me because that is where the very nice heat is coming from. Oh god, what's a stubble pattern? I always forget. When when drawing Oda, that is always the part I forget is the little stubble pattern. The fact that he has stubble. Like originally when I first posted his reference sheet, it didn't have stubble and I was like, why does my Oda look so weird? Oh, that's why. I feel like something is off here. I mean, this is just a sketch, but like, my line work is better if my sketch looks okay. Let's see. I am a little bit sad that when I switched computers, I didn't take with me the font, the special font that I did with my handwriting. so I couldn't, like, the font I'm using for different, it's alright, but like, I want something special, you know? But also half the time my handwriting is illegible, so maybe not the best one, but you go with what you can. Hello! Oh my goodness, there's more people. I haven't been keeping track of how many people have been joining. Trash man. Well, I live in the garbage. I live in this trash can. Or it's a dumpster. It's more of a dumpster. Um, yes, unfortunately, the Chinese place has demanded I bring in this thing called money. I need to bring in a thing called money in order to eat. So, I am doing art that will make me money. Hopefully. Because how many rooms I got? Uh, dumpster. Dumpster doesn't have a lot of room, unfortunately. It is me and my cat. What is it? My kato. Barley, he is my son and my baby. Not cozy enough that I've got a drawing set up. I've got I got space to sleep and I got space to draw and space to eat. But what more do you need in life? I am of the firm belief that all you need is bread and shiny things. I have a collection of shinies in here actually. Because I'm very lucky actually that my dumpster is also behind a tech store. So that's how I got like the computer and the camera. And I just plugged it in, plugged all this in using like 5 extension cables. Love. Sometimes I mean love is stored in the cap, in the sun. I feel like love is all you need. Aw, I like the little heart emoji. I was concerned you were ramping into a rickroll for a second. Uh, but no, unfortunately I do need monies. I'm not a, I'm not entirely sure what that is, but they said that art can sometimes get you money. Because I would like to, because they said I'm not allowed to go scrounging in their dumpster anymore, and that if I want to eat their food, I need money. So, oh, okay, that makes sense. Not a lot of people aren't throwing away records or anything like, or CDs or anything like that. So, um, it's just me and my dumpster. I have a lot of soft things actually. People are throwing away a lot of plushies, which is a shame. They're very comfortable. Like, I don't know why people would do that. I mean, it's very nice for me. I get it makes me a bed, So, I mean, I'm all, I'm all for people throwing away soft things because that's more soft things for me, and shiny things, but those aren't as common, unfortunately. God, I don't draw this man for like a month, and I forget how to draw him, which is un unfortunate. Yeah, although it, although if I wasn't a mammal, I could eat. If I was like a rock, I wouldn't be able to eat Chinese food. So that is the plus side to being alive. Is I get to eat all sorts of food. Like people are throwing away good food in the dumpster. It's delicious. Shame more people don't throw out food. Food is great. I love food. And my boy, I have I would actually prefer if people didn't throw rocks in here. 'Cause sometimes Barley thinks they are mice and goes for them. And he is always very sad when it is not a mouse but a rock. I mean, they are pretty good, especially especially the Chinese restaurant I'm right next to. The food that gets thrown away is pretty good. It, it's always very spicy, and then of course I now have to pay money. Wait, is money a real thing, or is it another thing like vitamins that isn't real, or like germs? Is it real, or is it just something people say to be mean and deny you food? I am unsure. Although at this point, I'm just glad it's been a while since someone dumped bodies into my dumpster. I got to study what humans look like after they died, though, so it's very, very fun. I have been told that the way that the old art masters, I I like kimchi is delicious. I love kimchi. It's been a while since I've had some good Korean barbecue too. I'm just craving all sorts of things. There used to be a Korean restaurant. It is real? Oh, oh. Well, I'm trying my best. I opened it. I did with someone threw away a perfectly good button maker a while ago. Like it was only missing a few parts. Like so I'm making buttons. Uh, they're animals with what I am told are witch hats. The witches say that that witches don't have like specific witch hats, but the internet says that they have witch hats, so uh, I'm gonna go with that. I'm thankful at least that the witch who runs the tech shop is nice and has been thank. She said she's been covering my bills for the Chinese restaurant, whatever that means. Still unclear if that is a thing. I hear my cat with me in my dumpster, and every time I hear him, I go and look to see if he is still there. But yeah, no. Just me in my dumpster. I might change. I don't think you are big enough. Either that or it's something with your... Hmm. Hmm. Humans are hard. Like, the body was not in the dumpster long enough for me to truly study. So, I am working off of memory and what the internet says is correct. Well, I think that is Oda done. I do also have several. One of the ways that I've been keeping entertained in here is that I have been watching shows and movies on my little computer, and some of them has sparked joy. Which is how I got into drawing Bungo Stray Dogs stuff in the first place. And then I was told that I could use it to make the monies so that I can eat. But I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly. Like, the internet said something about, like, followers and online store. I'm figuring it out. Like, I never needed to learn before because I would just go into their dumpster. Truly unfortunate. What do I say? Mr. Evolution, are you up on the lore? Are you up on what's going on here? I mean, I'm not done with my work art. I have more that I have to do, but I am reluctant to show you my Google Drive. So we are working with what is currently on my PC and already open in CSP. So I think you need to be a little bit wider. Just a little. You know, I had to remind myself that humans have 5 fingers, because goblins only have 4. At least, that's what I'm told. I'm the only goblin I've ever met. I just woke up one day in this dumpster and it was my home. That's good enough. That's good enough as a base. Well, I don't know. Oh yeah. Uh, since, I know the stream is titled, like, doing the stream of work art, but I finished that. So I'm working on I don't think page 7 is up yet. page 8 of Ode to Friends, which is a comic set in, I want to say, oh god, my brain blank. It is one of the comics set in my AU called the Dazai Nakahara family, where I know a Kitsune? Are you a Kitsune? Or someone else is a Kitsune? I don't know. I may have met one. A lot of people come to my dumpster. I have met a lot of people. I've done some traveling. I mean, I like to say you don't truly know someone unless you've been in their dumpster. And I'm someone who's only been in dumpsters. But yes, I am drawing. The AU is specifically about, or the premise is specifically about 4 titular characters, and on screen are none of them. But if you would like, oh, you can kind of see them. There they are. But I'm not drawing them yet, so. Because that involves stairs, and stairs are hard. You can find all sorts of great things in the dumpsters. I've found so many useful things. I mean, I live here. You should. Maybe you'll see me. Oh, you're a Kitsune. Excellent. Yeah, I met a few in my travels. But, they usually, I mean, I could kind of tell when they're in person, like, that they're a Kitsune. They have a vibe, you know? I mean, online it is harder, but, usually the Kitsunes I've met are pretty nice, usually. Although there was one that mistook me for a gremlin and tried to eat me. Not as great. A little bit unfortunate, but I mean, I am a goblin, thank you very much. Goblins and gremlins are completely different. My brother is a gremlin, though. He is a menace. I don't see him too often, but he's pretty chill. He's in a different. He lives in a different dumpster, so we don't see each other that often. Just family reunions, you know. Uh, the gremlin, or the kitsune that tried to eat me. I didn't get the name of the kitsune that tried to eat me. They were busier. They were more focused on eating me than on talking to me or introducing themselves. Bit unfortunate, because I feel like if they hadn't mistook me for a gremlin, we might have gotten along really well. Like, I notice it's always the magical creatures and the witches who are nice. A lot of the times, the regular, the non-magical humans are usually mean. Like, it was the non-magical humans who were the ones who dumped the body in my dumpster, which is very unfortunate. And also, I'm told might be evidence of a murder, but, like, I don't think... I mean, I can't really report a crime. Or more. No, actually, that is a common misconception. It might be your friend. I don't know. Could be. Again, didn't get their name. Yeah, I don't... It is a common misconception, but gremlins actually do not morph. They don't morph. There's also, like, the whole you have to feed them at midnight thing. It's not, like, completely false, but it's not completely true either. Gremlins are just cranky, and the best way to calm them down is to feed them. So, yeah. That's one of the similarities they share with goblins. But yeah. Other than that, I can't really... You living in a dumpster, you see a bit of crime, actually. And, like, some of it, I mean, most of it, it's just like, I'm not gonna snitch. I'm not gonna snitch on someone selling drugs. I'm not rude. But I can't really report any of the violent crime. You can probably guess why that is. I'm not going to magic jail. Goblins don't. I would be eaten. I would be eaten by an ogre within a day. I'm not going to jail. I mean, I don't know. I like I should be paid. I like I should be doing that anyway. Yeah, right? Right? I ain't about that. Just as long as none of that gets in my dumpster. Like those rude people. Yeah, like those rude people who don't throw bodies in my dump. Don't throw evidence of your crime in my dumpster. My dumpster, thank you very much. Hello? Barley is back. Hello, little. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hi, Mother is going to pick you up again. Hello, hi. Hi, baby. Hello. Okay. There you go. There you go. But it's not just me. I have to think about my son. Oh. There's something. I hear that they're throwing away new things. I will have to leave and say goodbye, but I'll figure out a regular streaming schedule so that I can talk to people. This is fun. But the Chinese restaurant just threw something away, so I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna go get dinner. It was good to see you all, though. Or not see, but you know what I mean. Goodbye.